On the subreddit r/Orlando, a user by the name Daniel Lacon Harvard posted this Ring camera footage with the title, "Violent Man Caught on My Ring Camera." In the video, we see a young man in a black shirt and shorts walking directly up to the homeowner's Ring camera and repeatedly attacking the camera with aggressive stabbing with a knife. After which, he escalates the situation even further by moving to the neighbor's doorbell camera and doing the exact same thing before finally walking away. While the video is quite unsettling by itself, the situation becomes even more unsettling after reading crucial context in the description. Does anyone know this man? Caught on my Ring camera at Rexford at Waterford Lakes at 5:17 p.m. today. Filed a police report, but he basically just said to stay safe. I'm a younger woman, so I'm scared to even leave my apartment now. I've seen him walk by my camera many times before, and he's always walking back and forth by our door. Not sure if he even lives here or what. So this wasn't a one-time thing. The OP mentions she has seen him multiple times before, always pacing back and forth outside their door. She is genuinely scared to leave her apartment now. And honestly, after what she found out from the police, you can't really blame her. When the user, Organic Direction 88, urged the author to call the police immediately, warning, this guy could be on his way to stab someone right now. Dopey replied with this chilling detail. Yes, they came and took our statement, but not sure what will happen next. Told us someone else filed a report on the same guy with a knife earlier today too. From this reply, we now know that someone else had already reported the same guy with a knife that same day. So he's clearly an active threat in the area, and given the pattern here, there is no reason to think that this is over. But there was another detail mentioned in the comments that was far more disturbing than the rest. When asked if the OP was home during the incident, the author replied with this revelation. He did this while I was in my apartment, in my room by the way. I didn't notice until 6 p.m. either. Very weird. The fact that she was home alone at the same time of the incident makes this extremely disturbing. Had she heard what sounded like knocking or activity at the door, she could have easily opened it without checking the camera first. Just imagine the scenario. A young woman opening the door to an armed man who was violently stabbing her doorbell. The potential outcome of that scenario is too frightening to imagine. From the community, several theories emerged about what the intentions of the violent man could be. Some users, like Dean's CFL, suggested it might be a targeted harassment. I wonder if he was trying to mess up your camera because it was a direct line of sight to the other apartment where he hid the door. Please alert that specific neighbor and show them this video, as this guy might be targeting them. Though the most concerning theory came from those who saw this as preparation for something worse, like testing response times, disabling the security camera, and trying to scare or even to hurt someone. Among all the responses, users also offered practical advice for the OP's safety. WTF is that smell commented, "Don't let your entrance stand out, as he looks like an opportunistic stabber. I don't know anything, but it is best to blend in with everyone else's entrance." To which the OP responded that they had already removed their welcome mat. Apart from this suggestion, one commenter offered perhaps the most practical long-term advice. Paper trail is your best move here. the police will only respond to active crimes. Once they get involved, it's usually too late. If the complex has been notified and there is a record of it, any harm or damage implicates them. Unfortunately, you have to hit people in their pockets in the States for any action. Sadly, as of today, the OP has not made any updates regarding whether the man was caught or if any further incidents occurred. On October 26, 2023, a seemingly ordinary man approached a home and began taking photographs. Not of the house itself, not of packages, but of something near the doorbell camera. The homeowner, checking their ring footage later, discovered this bizarre behavior had happened not once, but twice. In the first incident, the man's face was completely visible as he walked up to the door, pulled out his phone, and nervously snapped multiple photos from different angles, pointing his camera at various spots around the doorbell camera before quickly running away. Days later, he returned for a second visit, this time wearing a medical mask. Though his behavior was identical, the same nervous energy, the same photographing of the camera area from multiple angles, and the same quick departure after getting his shots. Disturbed by these strange visits, the owner shared the footage on the subreddit r/ring under the username aradmat. Any idea what this creepy guy is trying to do? The community response was immediate. Application Any 144 observed something crucial about the man's behavior. His body language looked suspicious and nervous, clearly getting a close-up of whatever is there. A window? His hand shook the first time, so he returned with a mask for a clear shot. Call the police. To which Aradmat responded with frustrating news about their attempt to get law enforcement involved. Already did, but of no use. They said no crime, so no report or action. However, things took a more serious turn when someone suggested this might be just a delivery driver taking proof of delivery photos. The OP's response revealed the contrary. He is not a delivery guy. He has been caught doing the same thing in 2 other places. This meant at least 3 different homes in the area had been targeted by the same individual, all experiencing the same strange behavior. Among all the responses, one comment offered a potentially legitimate explanation. User Chito, who used to do mortgage inspections, wrote, "This looks very similar to what I used to do, except we usually would hang a door card and take a photo of it, plus general property pics. What he's doing here looks very much like an occupancy inspection." They explained that banks can send inspectors to verify property conditions and occupancy at any time, often without notifying the homeowners. But here's what doesn't add up. Legitimate inspectors typically leave door cards, wear badges, and don't act nervous or suspicious. So why was this man sneaking around multiple properties, taking photos without any identification or explanation? When another user, every single minute, asked if the OP was going to tell them what the man was photographing, the OP provided a puzzling detail. There is nothing but a lamp there. This revelation only deepened the mystery. Why would someone nervously photograph a lamp from multiple angles? If he was simply interested in the lamp's design or wanted one for himself, why not just take a single clear photo? Why return for a second visit? And most importantly, why would he do this at multiple properties? Perhaps the most sinister possibility came from Samuel Holmes, who shared disturbing information about doorbell camera hacking. There are a few that tried to get the barcode info on the cam to hack it later. This happened to a friend's neighbor, and later found out that specific date recordings were deleted or corrupted. Think about what this means. The man could be photographing the serial numbers, model information, or other identifying details visible on or near the cameras. Once the hackers have this information, they can potentially access the camera's feed, delete recordings of their activities, or even use it to monitor when residents are home. The fact that he's targeting multiple homes in the same area suggests he could be building a database of vulnerable properties. Given the potential for malicious intent and the police's refusal to investigate, several users offered practical advice to prevent future encounters. User Zurad suggested a confrontational deterrent. Take the snapshot from the video where it shows his face, then print out the pic, post it on your door with a message saying, "Report it to police." Guarantee you he'll piss on his pants. The idea being that if the man returns and saw his own face posted with a police warning, he would immediately know that he had been caught and would likely avoid that property entirely. Unfortunately, as of today, the user Aradmat has not made any updates regarding whether the man was identified or if any further incidents occurred. On the subreddit r/unexplained, a user by the name Phantoms17 posted a mysterious video with the title, "Weird noise that myself and others in my town are hearing." In the description, they asked the viewers to confirm if they could hear the sound, adding a strange detail. "One of my friends can't hear it at all, but me and my girlfriend do." In the video, we see nighttime footage of what appears to be a parking lot near some shops. Throughout the entire 25-second clip, there's this persistent, low-frequency humming sound, almost like a massive electrical transformer or a siren that is stuck on a single continuous note. The sound doesn't waver or stop, just drones on endlessly in the background. In the comments, users immediately started offering explanations. User Vociferous Wad commented, "Sounds like a storm siren, malfunctioning almost," which seemed like a reasonable explanation. Tennessee, where the OP was located, indeed experiences quite a lot of tornadoes, so a stuck siren wouldn't be out of the question. Another theory emerged from user FickleCopy2186, who suggested, "Someone on Reddit complained that the Walmart next to their house makes an outrageous sound at night to keep homeless people from hanging out at night. Maybe this is that sound. Are you near a Walmart?" While it's true that some businesses and municipalities have been known to use acoustic deterrents to prevent loitering, when I tried searching for more information about this, I only found cases of music being used for this purpose and not a loud humming sound. However, what made these explanations less likely was when InfosecPZ wrote, "I'm in Bergen County, New Jersey, and I'm hearing the same tone. It comes in and out and has been for about 40 minutes. The OP responded, "I'm hearing it near Kimball, Tennessee." This meant people hundreds of miles apart were experiencing the exact same phenomenon at the exact same time. A malfunctioning tornado siren in Tennessee wouldn't be heard in New Jersey, and it's highly unlikely that Walmarts in different states would be using the exact same deterrent sound at the exact same time. But here's where the situation becomes truly unsettling. User MDouble asked a simple question. How does your friend not hear it? do they have any type of hearing issues? To which the OP replied, "No, I don't understand why they don't either, and no, they have no history of any hearing issues whatsoever." The commenter then followed up by saying, "So they can hear the talking in the video, but just not the blaring siren tone in the background." The OP confirmed this was exactly the case. This selective hearing pattern ruled out both the tornado siren and Walmart theories. If it was either of those, everyone in the vicinity would hear it. Among all these different responses, there was one comment that connected this incident to something much larger and more mysterious. User Huffstuff1975 noted, "That's weird AF. It reminds me of the hum that is heard across the globe." The OP's response showed that they had already considered this possibility. "That's what I thought it was too, because my friend doesn't hear it, but me and my girlfriend do." The global hum, also known simply as the hum, is a well-documented phenomenon that has been reported worldwide since at least the 1970s. It's typically described as a persistent low-frequency humming, rumbling, or droning noise that only certain people can perceive. Studies suggest only about 2 to 4% of people in affected areas can actually hear it. The sound has been reported in locations all across the globe, ranging from Taos, New Mexico, Windsor, Ontario, Bristol, England, to Auckland, New Zealand. What makes the hum so mysterious is that it defies easy explanation. Scientists have proposed everything from industrial equipment and geological activity to tinnitus and electromagnetic sensitivity, but no single theory has been able to account for all cases, especially the selective hearing patterns, where some people in the same location can hear it clearly while others hear nothing at all. While all the theories proposed could be possible, as of today, the OP has not made any updates regarding the post, so the true cause of this sound is still unknown. In the middle of nowhere, surrounded by miles of forested mountains, with no neighbors nearby, the last thing you'd expect to see on your security camera is an unknown stranger wandering through your property. But that's exactly what happened to Reddit user Coner Boner, who discovered an unidentified woman walking through their backyard just 5 minutes before they arrived home. They shared the disturbing footage on r/oddly terrifying with the title, "Mysterious Stranger Caught on Camera Wandering Our Remote Mountain Yard." In the grainy night vision footage, we see a lone figure slowly walking through the yard, and the figure appears to be a woman carrying what looks like some sort of bag in her left arm. She moves unsteadily across the rugged terrain, looking noticeably disoriented as she walks through the property. After several long moments, she continues past the camera's view and disappears into the wilderness beyond. But upon a closer look at the details provided by the OP, this becomes deeply concerning. As the author explained, we live up in the mountains, miles away from the nearest town, surrounded by forested mountains with no neighbors nearby. It was pitch black, and the person wasn't dressed for bushwhacking, especially not in the dark. They emphasized the remoteness of their location, adding, "It's seriously the middle of nowhere, and we never see anyone around here." The community's response ranged from concern to various theories about what could explain this bizarre encounter. Bird Law Office ESQ immediately suggested a practical possibility. Very strange, the woman could have some sort of dementia and could have been wandering all day. I would provide the footage to local law enforcement, as someone could have filed a missing person report. The author then confirmed that they had contacted the authorities. Yes, we thought something like that as well, or under the influence. But the sheriff came out and spotlit around, but it's so wooded and bushy that they couldn't see anything. Then they drove the road and will hopefully be back with a drone in the daylight to do a scan for a potential camp. The mention of scanning for a potential camp raised another possibility that this woman might be homeless. This would explain her presence in such a remote area, and her unsteady walk could be from exhaustion or malnutrition. However, the location also makes this theory questionable. Las Aminas County, at 7,100 feet elevation, experiences hard conditions, especially at night. The fact that the nearest neighbors are miles away and the area is populated by bears and mountain lions makes it extremely dangerous and unlikely place for someone to voluntarily set up camp. But other users saw something more sinister in her behavior. Zubu13 suggested someone could have assaulted her and left her where they knew she could get lost in the forest or attacked by animals. This theory becomes more plausible when you consider the circumstances. A woman alone, walking unsteadily through dangerous terrain in the middle of the night, in an area so remote that even if she screamed for help, no one would hear her. If someone wanted to ensure a victim wouldn't be found or couldn't escape, this would be the perfect location. The fact that she appeared disoriented and was carrying what looked like a bag could mean she was dumped there with minimal belongings, left to face the wilderness alone. But among all these theories, user Harley provided perhaps the most chilling connection. They wrote a detailed analysis linking this incident to an actual unsolved case. She reminds me of the Anson County Jane Doe, the still unidentified woman whose skeletal remains were found in a wooded area of North Carolina in 2022. Around 8 months prior to the discovery of her body, it turned out she might have been spotted on a hunter's trail camera, walking alone in the dark, seemingly lost and confused, wearing only her undergarments, while using some kind of branch as a walking stick. The case that the commenter mentioned has since been solved. In March 2025, the Anson County Jane Doe was identified as a 26-year-old Amber Ray Johnston through DNA analysis. What makes this comparison particularly unsettling is the trail camera footage from August 22, 2021, which showed a woman stumbling through woodland near a deer feeder. The images captured her at 2 different times, first at 1:33 a.m., moving quickly past the camera, then again between 4:30 and 4:33 a.m., now moving slowly and cautiously through the dense underbrush with the aid of a walking stick. Less than 9 months later, her skeletal remains were discovered in that same wooded area, wearing only a black bra and leggings. The similarities between these cases are hard to ignore. A disoriented woman walking alone at night in an extremely remote area, far from any logical explanation for being there. In both cases, the women appeared lost and vulnerable, captured on camera in what might have been their final hours. The fact that Amber Johnston's body wasn't found until months after she disappeared shows how easily someone can vanish in these vast wilderness areas, especially when you're already in distress. Unfortunately, as of today, the OP's last update on the situation was brief but haunting. No update and no other sightings of this woman.